the arts, and especially music, have a really profound role to play in teaching people to celebrate and to appreciate, and also to learn about the impacts of climate change. Too often, science and climate change are not presented in a way that's telling a story. They're very dry and disconnected from humanity, and I think climate change is probably the most connected to humanity that we can get in terms of issues that we face.
The medium of music is powerful in that it's so evocative, and it can really draw a response of tenderness, of love, of joy, of sadness, of grief. Both my sister and I have been thinking a lot about ways that we can use music to create an environment and a response from people that is in response to the tragedy of climate change, and also the potential for action and the responsibility that we all have to take action.
So you've probably noticed gas prices are rising and getting more expensive. So let's talk about why. The Russian attack on Ukraine is a tragic situation that is upending geopolitics and our global energy systems. And things are changing daily, so it's actually really challenging to stay on top of what is going on and keep current with everything. President Biden has imposed serious sanctions against Russia, and also this week just announced that there's a ban now on Russian oil imports. All of this instability is leading to a price spike in gas prices globally. This is on top of the already high prices that resulted from the quick economic recovery from the pandemic, supply chain issues, extreme weather events, and then of course the oil cartels are deciding to limit production to increase their profits. High energy prices, high gas prices means there's more money flowing to Russia, which isn't great, and more money flowing to the fossil fuel companies. Some are saying the answer to this crisis is to drill, baby, drill, with the assumption that more US production will solve this problem. They want to ensure our infrastructure is built around fossil fuels so we can't transition to clean energy because they'll lose on profit. Plus, if the fossil fuel companies were really worried about gas prices, they could use some of the 9,000 plus drilling permits that they already have. So there's that. We at Citizens Climate Lobby and a lot of climate organizations and scientists and economists all know that we don't need more fossil fuel infrastructure, and instead we need to use this opportunity right now to transition as quickly as we can to clean energy alternatives. We have to push back from this narrative from fossil fuel companies and certain politicians, because the only way to get energy independence, to address climate change, to deal with the environmental justice and health impacts of burning fossil fuels, and to stop getting into these geopolitical crises is for us to invest in clean energy infrastructure right now. If you agree, let us know in the comments. And if you're interested in joining Citizens Climate Lobby to learn more and to fight back against this narrative of us needing more fossil fuels, click this link to join.
Climate change today.
The Build Back Better Act,
Citizens Climate Lobby,
climate action, clean energy jobs, and environmental justice.
To understand this and what it means for climate change is the Communications Director of Citizens Climate Lobby, Flannery Winchester. Flannery, thank you so much for joining us today.
what does the Build Back Better Act mean for climate change?
The climate provisions in this bill would be huge steps forward on tackling climate change. Communities across the country are already struggling with the costs of recovery from extreme weather disasters that are fueled by climate change. Climate scientists just released a new report that the last 7 years have been the hottest 7 years on record. And new polling from Yale just found that 6 in 10 Americans are alarmed or concerned about climate change. So passing the climate provisions in the Build Back Better Act would signal that America is serious about keeping its promises and avoiding the worst impacts of climate change.
It's a lot of good work that you guys are doing. Thank you so much for all of your efforts. We will absolutely do our part as well, and we'll keep our promise to preserve the climate. Flannery, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Almost exactly a year ago, I delivered what I hoped would be my last Time to Wake Up speech. The conditions for climate progress were in place. The Smithsonian asked me if they could have this old poster. It's the most used poster in Senate history, it turns out. Here it is back again. We just aren't making progress. Not by the only measurement that matters, greenhouse gas emissions. We are 1 year in with no bill and no carbon regulation. The center pole in the climate policy tent is a carbon price. Pricing carbon reaches every corner of the economy. A carbon price fuels innovation. A carbon price raises investment. A carbon price is exportable. And last, a carbon price helps to unravel what the International Monetary Fund says is a $660 billion annual subsidy propping up fossil fuels in the United States. When we reignite work on a real climate bill, I'll see about getting this battered poster over to the Smithsonian. But if we don't, I'll be back here again and again and again to call this chamber to wake up.